Hello and welcome to Inside Story, the API's magazine program and your official source for what's happening in your community. I'm Crystal Charles. This week, cricket legends return for the Independence International Masters Cricket Festival, celebrating Caribbean pride and sporting legacy. Then we head to Camden Park, where Raw Chills 2 opens its doors, blending fun, business, and community spirit. As the UN marks 80 years, we reflect on its continued partnership with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On Community Beat, we explore the tradition and healing power of bush tea with Stubbs resident Sharon Scipio. Stay with us, another exciting edition of Inside Story begins now. Welcome back. Cricket fever is in the air as some of the greatest names in West Indies cricket return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the Independence International Masters Cricket Festival. It's not just cricket, it's a celebration of Caribbean pride, Hello and welcome to Inside Story, the API's magazine program and your official source for what's happening in your community. I am Crystal Charles. This week, we share the emotional journey of John and Jessica Davidson, two UK nationals who supported the Southern Grenadines' recovery after Hurricane Beryl. Then, we highlight the launch of the MOVE initiative, a partnership with UNICEF and the government of Japan. Then, on Community Beat, we spotlight newly appointed cultural ambassador Kingsley Whiteman Collis, a creative force in Vincy Mas and local culture. And on this week's Inside Minute, we take a look at Nomination Day as St. Vincent and the Grenadines prepares for the November 27th elections. Stay with us. Another exciting edition of Inside Story begins now.
Looking for sun, sea, and culture? Hop on American Airlines from the US to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Easy, breezy, and unforgettable. Let the adventure begin.
Welcome back. John and Jessica Davidson, the two United Kingdom nationals that were chosen by British businessman Ian Wace to run the Gumbalimba Group, contributed significantly with their expertise and time to the recovery process in the Southern Grenadines. But behind the calm demeanor and professionalism shown by the two under pressure, they were both fighting silent battles. As they worked diligently to help strangers and build back the Southern Grenadines stronger after Hurricane Beryl, Jessica's mom and sister were suffering from terminal cancer, while John's mother was struck with dementia, making it hard for him to properly communicate with her. The two tell part of their story in this Agency for Public Information interview with Life Compton.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl, two quiet heroes stepped forward in the Southern Grenadines, John and Jessica Davison, UK nationals chosen by businessman Ian Wace to help lead the Gumbalimbo Group. The duo worked tirelessly to rebuild lives and communities, but while they brought strength and hope to others, they were each facing their own personal battles. Jessica supporting her mother and sister fighting terminal cancer, and John coping with his mother's struggle with dementia. In this exclusive API interview with Life Compton, they share how they found the courage to serve others while carrying a heartbreak of their own.
So during the day, everyone sees Happy John and Jessica cutting around Canouan, Miro and Union. And we are grateful to be here to help the people of St. Vincent. But behind the scenes, you know, our lives are slightly different and people don't realize, you know, what's happening. And unfortunately, Jessica's sister and mother both have terminal cancer. And we don't know how long they're going to be with us. That's really tough. My mother all of a sudden has got dementia, and it's very difficult to talk to her now. And this has all happened whilst we've been here, building roofs and fixing things on the island. We have 4 children. It's been a great strain on them because they age from 9 up until 21. So we've missed birthday parties, we've missed school time, we've missed many, many things. So there's quite a bit of turmoil going on behind the scenes. But this job is very important to us because of the people that we met and the people that we meet on a daily basis. We wanted to come here, get the project done.
How do you guys cope? What is your coping mechanism? Because that's some serious issues for a family to deal with. So how
yeah, there's one thing, is that we have an incredibly strong marriage. Incredibly strong. You know, this project's been very intense at times, and we do have our differences, but our bond is so strong and we help one another through all of this, you know. Jessica's been able to go home a few more times than me to see the kids and to see her family, but she's always come back full of life and to crack on and get the job done.
Yeah, it's been, you know, as John said, it's been really hard for us personally, but this project is really important. You know, it's bigger than us in many ways. It's helping people, and it's important for us to finish it and see it through. So we've kept in real contact with our family, and if we have to go back, we're kind of on standby to go back. They know that, but our family are really supportive of us, and you know, they know the work we're doing is important for the people here in the Southern Grenadines, so they are. The kids are supportive, my family is supportive. Sadly, yeah, my sister is very, very sick now, so that's tough.
She's such a strong lady, Jessica's sister, that anyone else would have said, please come back, I need your help, because she has 3 children. But no, she said, you stay out there, you get the job done. She goes, I can see it on the film, I know how important it is to the people of St. Vincent.
So for persons who might not know John and Jessica, can you tell us a bit about yourself and where you're from? I know John had some exploits with him sailing a small boat miles across the ocean. So can you tell us a bit about yourself and where you're from?
Sure. So I have a PhD in water studies, and I've a background teaching at military college in the UK, as well as doing a lot of private sector projects with John all around the world. We've worked in all different lots of different countries, I should say, doing a huge range of projects, helping people. Yeah, a real variety of different things. This is our first time in the Southern Grenadines, first time in the Caribbean, so that's been an amazing opportunity here, getting to know people and learn about the environment here. John has a much more adventurous and risk-taking, I would say, background.
Yeah, but my wife is very humble. What she hasn't told you, she's got the brain the size of a planet, and many governments ask her to come and help them with certain things, which I won't go into, but she's incredible at what she does. Driving economies, looking at getting sanctions lifted, all those kind of things, you know, so she's very, very humble in what she says. My background's very simple. As I told the school the other day, you know, I come from a one-parent family, left school at 15 with no qualifications. I joined the British Army and never looked back. I spent 15 years in Special Forces and did jobs all over the world. Since I left the military, I've started and run and sold a few companies. We've done projects together, massive projects in different parts of the world, some risky, some not so risky. And you're right about crossing the Atlantic, but I did it in a rowing boat, not a sailing boat. So I rowed all the way from the Canaries all the way to Antigua. That took me 76 days. So I know a little bit about the ocean, but this was a project that we jumped at, and we've learned so much. We've learned so much about ourselves. We've learned a lot about the culture here, and we've made so many great friends.
Yeah, amazing.
So many great friends. Yeah.
How do you learn about St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Literally through Mr. Ian Wace. That's how we learned about it and coming here on the ground. John and I have spent most of our working life probably in Africa, fair to say. So the other side of the world, we haven't spent a huge amount of time here. So when Mr. Wace spoke to us about coming here, you know, it didn't take us long to decide. You know, we saw what had happened, devastating, and we just wanted to come and help where we could, find out if we could help. And then once we were here, I mean, John hit the ground running before I got here with the family, and yeah, it's been non-stop ever since.
He tricked us, really. He told us, come, it's a beautiful place, it's paradise, beautiful sand, weather. He's correct, but you know, we haven't stopped working since the day we arrived, so we haven't had to enjoy too much of that. But you know, in all honesty, yeah, we spoke for 40 minutes on the phone, and I said, absolutely, let me see if I can help you.
Do you have any regrets coming here?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
You know, it's been amazing, and we're so pleased that we could help. We're so pleased that we could work with everybody. We've learned a lot, and hopefully we're leaving a lot. Hopefully we're leaving a good footprint for the people on the islands and people who've worked with us, who've spent time with us as well. So we're hoping we're leaving more than just structures and roofs.
And if it's one thing you was to take away from St. Vincent, what would that be?
You know, every morning, I love the fact that in the mornings here, everybody says hello, and we walk around all these islands and everybody says hello, everybody talks. And sometimes when I've been home back in the UK just to see the children or pick things up, I walk around my hometown, it's very British, and forget that people don't really say hello to each other in the street. And I really miss that. I miss the friendliness, and I miss the openness here. That I will definitely miss. You know, the beauty, absolutely, I mean, gosh, there's nowhere like it, but the friendliness and the welcoming, I will miss that a lot.
I think the one thing that I would want from my time here is hoping that I've inspired some people to go and do things that they thought they couldn't do. Whether that's workers, whether that's children that I've met, whether it's just simple people selling stuff off a stall. You know, I've talked to them, tried to inspire them, told them there's more to life than what you're doing. You can achieve anything in life. So I'm hoping that they take that away with them. You know, that would make me happy.
Okay, and I understand that you're planning another rowing mission.
Possibly. My wife's
I'm not sure if I'll let him.
yeah.
I do.
I think we've got too much going on at home for me to even think about that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. On behalf of the Vincentian people, thank you very much for your service and your time here.
No.
And our praise are with you and your family.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we take you to launch the MOVE initiative. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in partnership with United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, and the government of Japan on Tuesday announced the launch of MOVE Initiative, a national program designed to provide safe, dignified, and cost-free transportation for persons with disabilities and elderly individuals facing mobility or accessibility barriers, as well as those with health challenges. The MOVE initiative forms part of a broader social protection strategy that recognizes the intersecting challenges of health, mobility, and economic vulnerability, particularly for those managing chronic conditions such as kidney disease.
This is a momentous occasion, and we want to be able to take a moment to say that we are about to welcome a new initiative of the Ministry of National Mobilization, Social Development, the Family, Gender, and Persons with Disabilities. And this program will be implemented through the Division with Responsibility for Social Protection. And you see the lovely buses behind me. This initiative hopes to provide a mobile Vincentian empowerment service, and it's not just about transporting persons from one destination to another that are persons with disabilities, but it also seeks to empower, and that's why the E in MOVE is about empowerment services. And the ministry that has started some empowerment centers across the country for persons with disabilities is just a start.
I just want to kind of speak a little bit about the values of UNICEF and the rights of all people, and that we value equality among everyone, and access to services is one of those rights that everyone has a part to. So UNICEF is very happy to support and be a part of this program. As the PS said, that's really about empowerment.
Today marks a significant milestone in the lives of persons with disabilities as we seek to provide national transport and empowerment, a service to such a vulnerable population. The Ministry of National Mobilization is charged with the national portfolio of providing social protection to vulnerable persons and households, inclusive of persons with disability and elderly persons. At least 2,547 persons across St. Vincent and the Grenadines are living with some form of disability, and the Parliament subsequently approved in the 2025 budget the introduction of the disability MOVE, which stands for the Mobile Vincentian Empowerment Service, to meet the demand for safe transport services for persons with disabilities nationally, in addition to other empowerment services required for this targeted section of the population. The budget addresses further that the coordination of this service will be executed by the Ministry of National Mobilization upon the assignment of donated buses for this fitting purpose. UNICEF has since partnered with the Ministry of National Mobilization with responsibility for persons with disabilities to aid in the delivery of this service to such a vulnerable population, and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is indeed grateful for your support. I would also like to acknowledge the government and people of Japan for the donation of these buses, and I thank them very much for the timely donation to allow us to provide this service. The ministry received 5 buses to date, and the service will be provided only for persons with disabilities requiring ground transport for the purpose of work, medical appointments, business, or social events, Monday to Saturday between the hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. To schedule bookings for the transport service, persons with disabilities or their caregivers can contact the ministry at 494-6931. I repeat, 494-6931. The following represents the assigned routes for the transport service to date, while the ministry still seeks to include additional routes to complete the national service to be provided. So in the district of North Windward, North Central Windward, South Central Windward, and South Windward, we will have a bus running from North Windward through South Windward to Kingston and back. In the areas of Mariaqua, West St. George, and East St. George, we will have a bus running from Mariaqua, West St. George, and East St. George to Kingston and back. In North Leeward and Central Leeward, we will have a dedicated bus running from North Leeward through Central Leeward to Kingston and back. For the South Leeward, West Kingston, Central Kingston, and East Kingston areas, we will also have a bus dedicated to run between South Leeward to Kingston and East Kingston and back. In North Leeward, Northern Grenadines and Southern Grenadines, we will have, as it relates to North Leeward, a bus running from North Leeward to the Modern Medicinal Hospital in Georgetown and returning, and that will be specially for persons who have to receive dialysis services only. In the Northern Grenadines, the logistics for this route within Beckway will commence soon, and in the Southern Grenadines, the logistics for that route in Union Island in particular will commence soon.
Children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. Only reading is the key, so help them read, learn, grow. Let's show them how much fun it is to read, learn, grow. So parents, you play a part. First and foremost, reading from so young is advantageous. Link with the teachers, working hand in hand is a must. Just 10 minutes of your child reading to you is a plus. Get fun books, make reading priority. When children read, they are able to learn, and the more they learn, the more they grow. So parents help the kids read, learn, grow. Reading is fun, kids have to know. Read, learn, grow. The children are the future, help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play a part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development. For more information, log on to www.oecs.org/ELP.
If you're just joining us, you're viewing Inside Story. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has added fresh energy to its lineup of cultural ambassadors. And today, we're spotlighting one of the newest appointees, Mr. Kingsley Whiteman Collis. He's a familiar face in Vincy Mass and a creative force in local culture. On this week's Community Beat, the API caught up with him to hear what this new role means and what's next. I'm here in the Vibrance community, right in the heart of town, the community of Paul's Avenue, with our newly appointed cultural ambassador, Mr. Kingsley Whiteman Collis.
Yes.
You were the first cultural ambassador hailing from this community, the community of Paul's Avenue. You know, you guys are often stigmatized, and you continue to show that, you know, there's talent coming from Paul's Avenue. How do you feel being our cultural ambassador for St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Well, I never started out thinking that I would ever been recognized, much less being a cultural ambassador, to be honest with you. Because you have so many other persons who we can give this to. And other persons who you could say, like, let me call a couple names to you, like Frankie McIntosh, a doctor in one of them university, now wrote a book there. A whole chapter is on him, Frankie McIntosh. You have Melbourne. It have Ozzy Constance. It have IPA. But it has so many different peoples.
So why you don't feel like you deserve this?
Well, it's not that I don't deserve it, because as I said, I've been doing what I'm doing for 30 years over 30 years, over 3 decades, without looking at it as, yeah, you're going to be a cultural ambassador, or you're going to be the next person that everybody going to look up to in my community. I'm elated. I was like, wow, this is really me getting this. When I heard it and I didn't even hear me speaking to himself. It's people call me and tell me that my daughter, like, da. My daughter called me from England because she's studying in England. She called me and said, da, you did this. And I, like, she sent me the clip too, and like, yeah, because I didn't expect it. You know, I like, wow, this moment is really for me. Like, and I feel elated not only for me, but for my community.
Yeah.
You see, my community, we have been looked upon so little, beneath. You understand? And so many great people has come from my community. One of the only brain surgeons ever in St. Vincent came from this community.
From Paul's Avenue.
Yeah, we don't have no other, I don't think we have no other brain surgeon in the country right now. But we had one from Paul's Avenue. And you understand, it has so many other, the Boogaloos, the Paddy them, all these people back from the past, you can look and say, yes, these deserve it more, you know?
So there's talent in Paul's Avenue?
Culture is Paul's Avenue. When you talk about culture, Paul's Avenue is it. If when you look at the past, and you look at the where culture come from, it's right here in Paul's Avenue. Culture come from here in Paul's Avenue. Everybody who do anything about culture, it started here and it migrated all across St. Vincent, where a person saw the talent and come and be a part of it, and then take it to the vast communities of St. Vincent.
Okay, so much for
boy, I'm telling you, it's like I'm so elated. I'm so happy that it's not me, but my community.
Right.
You know, it's not just me and my community.
It's not just Kingsley, it's Paul's Avenue.
I carry the whole weight of Paul's Avenue on me right now. You know, I'm so happy that it's Paul's Avenue finally got a recognition. You understand? We finally get something. You know what they say? I come like the rose in the early town now.
Okay.
You understand?
All right. So let's assume our viewers don't know who is Kingsley Whiteman Collis. Who is Kingsley? What does Kingsley do?
Well, I'm a humble person, really and truly. And every now and again, you know, we get in with the ministry of something as human. But I came from this area, Paul's Avenue, born and bred. Travel a lot in terms of producing costumes. I am the band leader for High Voltage Mass Band. And if you look at the last 50 years, if we go back 50 years, I am, and especially under this government, the youngest band leader to come under this government is me.
Kingsley, okay.
Kingsley, from 2003. I was the youngest band leader within that period.
So how old were you at that time?
In my late 20s. In my late 20s, between 25 and 27. Thereabout. But I was the only band leader, the youngest band leader at the time, coming from nowhere. Nobody knows us. Nobody knows the group of young people. Nobody knew me. But they had a lot of support from the community and from business persons who didn't know me. They said I had to prove myself. After my first 2 years, I started to get sponsors. You understand? People start to see my potential. see the band potential. And we grew from there. We became a house, High Voltage became a household name until we started to get Kingsley College getting a lot of calls from different countries, especially in Grenada, where I'm mainly based. Where for decades now I've been in Grenada, winning Queen of the Bands, King of the Bands, Queen shows. I build master the Queen shows. I build for both Carriacou and Grenada. And always in the top 3 positions, right through, and never drop below a third. This year in Grenada, for another year, I have a hatchet. You understand? Another season, I have a hatchet. So I've been winning. This is my first hatchet after COVID. You understand? Yeah. I won in Grenada. I made a clean sweep in 2017. Junior Band of the Year, Junior King, Junior Queen, Junior Individual, Senior King, Senior Band of the Year, second for Queen of the Band. And this year I did the same. I repeat the same thing again. Everything in junior for the juniors and senior Band of the Year as well too. So I got hatchet in both categories, Junior Band of the Year and Senior Band of the Year. And I build mass in Trinidad, I send mass away. One of my mass that I build in Trinidad as well. Reach as far as South Africa. The ambassador to Trinidad from South Africa. He loved the mass so much he bought it.
Wow. So where did your love for mass come from?
Well, from a young age, my mother had me in a mass camp, you could say, Melbourne Artisans.
Okay.
So it grew from there. So she was one of the seamstresses of Melbourne Artisans, and from there, you know, grew up in a mass camp really, Melbourne Artisans. I built mass, Wizard Mass Band in the 90s. I have been building, constructing most of the kings and queens for Wizards up until 2000. For Wizard Mass Band, I built mass for Nelson Block. I built mass, I helped Blondie Board with welding mass. Cause my main occupation, which I didn't say about myself earlier, is that I'm a welder by profession.
Okay.
So I
so you're a handyman.
Right. So not just a handyman, I'm a professional welder. Yes. I'm artistic. You understand? In a good way.
Of course.
Yes. So that's how from there I grew into being a band leader, because you know you start out from the smallest thing, and this is what a lot of young people don't do. It start from the bottom and work your way up the top. Know how it is made, know what to do, how it get done before you try to make all the money. Because a lot of young people, if you look at the young people right now, they just want to get into something that paying them. No. Right. They want it now. They want the money now. But you have to love it first. You have to love it first. And that's what happened to me. I love it. So I grew from being from the very bottom, didn't looking for anything. For more than 12 years, I work in a mass band, nothing. Grew into my own mass band. And at the first 10 years, I didn't get anything from out of it. More than I was recognized for my good works. A lot of people started to hire me from outside of our carnival season for other carnivals around the region.
So it's your love for the art and your patience.
And your patience and persistence. Because if you're persistent, you know, you can't, and patient, you never get it done. You never reach nowhere.
So would you encourage the youth in your community to take up mass production on a whole?
Yes, I do. I do encourage them. A lot of them come out. But the only thing is, this is not the time of when I was a younger person where our parents used to make sure that they have everything covered, and you know we go just for doing it for the love. If you notice these days, everything have a cost, and everybody looking for something now. It's no longer even looking at sports right now. You used to play sports. You're going for the love of it, but right now, if you don't get paid, the first thing people asking you, how am I getting paid?
Yeah.
So even the young people right now, the young people that need something. This is why you have to even give the government a little credit for certain things. They pay the people them to go and learn a trade, learn a skill, give them a little stipend by understand? So I mean, give the government a little thumbs up for that thing. But because that's how young people, they motivate the young people them right now. If they don't get nothing, and mass bands, we are suffering long time to get a price increase. Which now, as one of the only mass band in 2023 stayed out for a price increase. And we finally got a little price increase. So a little persons now could come to the band now and get a little stipend for being a part of it. Because before, it was like you build a master for $5,000 and you only getting $2,500 as your top prize, your first place. Now you could at least say you cover back your money because they had a price increase recently, and we expect it to go up a little more sometime in the future too. Because again, we're not just doing this for we as to make a profit alone, but we're doing this as a nation, as a tourist destination, as a something for people to get to see. You know, people and this work is employment for a lot of people, whether musicians, calypsonians, the people and the vendors, airlines, tourism, every aspect when Carnival come around is being benefited off of we making mass.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name High Voltage for your mass band?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, very
That's
good.
a very good question. I was searching when we break away from Melbourne, a group of us broke away from Melbourne, and then we were searching for a name. And then we start to, and I, as a welder, myself as a welder, and me and my colleagues then was walking around town assessing certain things for a work that I was going to do the next day. We're getting materials gathering. So we went from lanes uptown to a store down bottom town. And majority every place that we went, we see danger high voltage.
High voltage.
Danger high voltage.
Okay.
You know, and then you know, and then I say, so why don't we name the band? One of my colleagues say, why don't we name the band High Voltage? And I said, real great idea because we're young, we're full of energy, and where energy come, how voltage comes is from energetic and from energy. So, then we full of, we higher enthusiasm. Okay. We just go in and we just going. So that's how the name come up, High Voltage.
Okay, and on the topic of names, I noticed that you're called White Man. Where did that name come from?
Well, since I was small, within my family, I was the only clear person in the family, and I look whitish. So, hence the reason they call me White Man from since I was a baby. This name stuck on me from that. Yeah, I the clearest one from my mother.
Island hopping? We got you! Caribbean Airlines connects you to St. Vincent's and the Grenadines in true Caribbean style. One flight, endless memories.
Nomination Day is a key moment in our election process. It's when candidates officially put their names forward to contest the polls. Here's a quick look at what takes place on Inside Minutes.
The election process in St. Vincent and the Grenadines reached a major milestone on Tuesday, November 10th, as candidates across the country officially completed the nomination process for the upcoming general elections. Nomination Day, held under the supervision of the Electoral Office, marks the formal confirmation of candidates contesting constituencies throughout the state. Returning officers at designated nomination stations across all 15 constituencies received the nomination documents in accordance with electoral regulations. Each candidate was required to submit the necessary forms, present their nominators, and pay the statutory nomination fee. A diverse slate of candidates, including representatives from major political parties as well as independent contestants, has now been officially confirmed.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and I'll take you step by step through the voting process in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as we get ready for general elections. First, let's meet the Supervisor of Elections, Mrs. Dora James, who is appointed by the Governor General and is the overall administrator of the electoral process. Now let's see what happens on Election Day. Your polling station opens at 7 a.m. As you enter, you will see the directions for the guidance of voters in voting. The presiding officer will open the ballot box in the presence of everyone to ensure it's empty. The ballot box is then locked and placed in full view of everyone present in the polling station. When it's your turn to vote, you must present your ID card and state your name for all to hear. The poll clerk will check the voters list and ensure that your name and voter number correspond to the info on the voter registration card. The clerk will also place a mark on the voters list next to your name and voter's number. Here's what the presiding officer will do next. Examine your finger for any marks that indicate you have already voted. Put the election official mark on the ballot paper along with his or her initials. Mark the voter's number on the counterfoil of the ballot and give you instructions on how to vote. The presiding officer will also detach the ballot from the ballot book, fold it, and then hand it to you. You will then enter the private voting booth, where you would use a black lead pencil to mark an X in the space of the ballot, which contains the name and symbol of your candidate choice. After voting, fold the ballot, leaving the initials of the presiding officer and the official mark visible. Hand the ballot to the presiding officer, who will check that the ballot has initials and the official mark. Once you've cast your vote, the presiding officer will then tell you to dip your right index finger in the indelible ink. He or she will then remove the counterfoil and place the ballot in the ballot box for you and all others present to see. Congratulations, you have voted. If you are in the voting line at 5 p.m., you will be allowed to vote. Thanks for watching.
Let me go. Jason! Why don't you still in this thing? Why your back still on the ground and the dirty dishes in this thing?
Good afternoon, Jason. Jason, which way did this go today?
Fair? What I send you to school for? Boy, you must have to study how to work, boy. I wasted my money on you, boy. Huh?
Parenting isn't easy. At times, it may be challenging, but don't give up. You're shaping a life, and that matters more than you know. Every child is different, and some days will be harder than others. But no matter the challenge, we must stay patient and supportive. Our children are learning from us every day. That's why it's important to practice positive parenting.
Want to feel more confident as a parent? Build stronger relationships with your children? Register for our parenting program. You could reach us at 494-6749 or come on in and see us. We're located in the old Gecko building on the top floor.
We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Inside Story. Do join us again next week for another presentation. Remember, the API is your official source for the latest on government information. Follow our Facebook page, where we bring you daily news, updates, exclusive features, and much more. My name is Crystal Charles. Have a great weekend.